There is a reason so many farm families never let go of an old Allis Chalmers. These tractors were built to work, built to last, and built to carry the weight of everyday farm life. In this video, we are looking at 10 legendary models that helped shape American farming. From raw pulling power to all-around versatility, this orange iron still proves one simple truth: real quality never goes out of style. Number 10. The Allis Chalmers 185. For a lot of farmers, the Allis Chalmers 185 was never the flashiest tractor on the farm. It did not need to be. This was the kind of tractor that kept showing up for work day after day and season after season. It was the one you counted on to start in the morning, settle into a steady rhythm, and handle the jobs that always had to get done. Hauling wagons, running augers, mowing fields, feeding cattle, cleaning up around the yard. The 185 earned respect the old-fashioned way, one ordinary job at a time. In many farm families, the 185 became that dependable middle tractor every operation needed. It had enough size and strength to do serious work, but it still felt simple, familiar, and easy to trust. A father could run it. A son could learn on it. A hired hand could climb up and know exactly what to expect. And on a real working farm, that kind of comfort matters. It saves time, it builds confidence, and it keeps the day moving when there is too much to do and no time to waste. What made the 185 last so long was its honesty. It was not built to impress. It was built to serve. It had solid power, good balance, and a straightforward design that farmers appreciated because it could keep going without a lot of fuss. That is why so many of them stayed on farms for decades. Nobody was in a hurry to get rid of a tractor that still did its job well. And if that kind of steady, everyday toughness sounds impressive, the next Allis Chalmers on this list brought even more strength and just as much grit. Number 9. The Allis Chalmers 7000. When the Allis Chalmers 7000 arrived, it marked a newer chapter for the brand, but it still held on to an old farm truth. A tractor had to prove itself in the field, in the feedlot, and in the middle of a long working day. For many farmers, the 7000 felt modern without ever feeling complicated. It brought more power to the farm, but it still looked and felt like a machine built for hardworking people. The kind of people who expected a tractor to earn its keep. On many family farms, the 7000 became the tractor for bigger daily jobs. It could handle field work, heavy chore work, and all the in-between tasks that fill the farmer's day. That kind of versatility meant everything. Most farmers did not have the luxury of owning a different tractor for every job. They needed one machine that could pull strong, work long hours, and still be trusted when the next day began. The 7000 fit that role well. That is why so many farmers still remember it with real respect. Its durability came from the same qualities older farmers have always valued most: strong power, practical engineering, and a steady, solid feel that made it seem ready for hard use. Tractors like that tend to stay on a farm for a very long time. Because once a farmer knows he can count on one, he does not let it go easily. But dependable as the 7000 was, the next Allis Chalmers earned an even stronger reputation. It became known as the kind of tractor that was simply too useful to replace. Number 8. The Allis Chalmers 200. The Allis Chalmers 200 was the kind of tractor that gave off confidence the moment you saw it. On the farm, people could tell right away that this was a machine built for serious work. For many farmers, the 200 came from that sweet spot in tractor history, when machines were getting stronger, but still stayed simple enough to be practical, familiar, and worth keeping around. On many family farms, the 200 became one of the main tractors people depended on when the harder jobs showed up. It could handle field work with no problem, but it also had the weight, balance, and steady feel that made it useful for tough chore work close to home. When the weather turned rough, when the load got heavy, or when the day ran longer than expected, the 200 was often the tractor that got the call. It was not the kind of machine that waited for perfect conditions. It was built for the days when the work simply had to get done. A big reason the 200 lasted so long was its honest, workmanlike design. It had the size and strength that gave a farmer confidence. but it also had the kind of straightforward character that made long-term use feel natural. Tractors that are both capable and familiar tend to stay in the family for years. People remember them not just for their power, but for how often they were there when the farm needed them most. Still, as strong and dependable as the 200 was, the next tractor on this list takes the story from a steady workhorse to something even bigger. A machine remembered for pure Allis Chalmers power. Number 7. The Allis Chalmers D21. The Allis Chalmers D21 did not enter farm life quietly. It had too much presence for that. Even today, it still carries a larger-than-life reputation. For many older farmers, the D21 represented a time when horsepower began to matter in a much bigger way. And when it arrived, it showed that Allis Chalmers was ready to stand alongside the strongest names in the field. Now, the D21 was not some everyday chore tractor for small jobs around the barn. But on the farms that had one, it became something special. It stood for strength. It stood for progress. And it stood for ambition. It told people this was an operation that needed real pulling power, that gave the D21 a place in memory that reached beyond simple daily use. Some tractors are remembered because they were handy. Others are remembered because they changed the whole feel of a farm. The D21 did exactly that. A big part of its lasting reputation came from that bold identity. It was built to work hard, built to handle serious demands, and built with a presence farmers could feel the moment they climbed into the seat. Older farmers have always respected tractors that felt solid and substantial, and the D21 had plenty of both. Even decades later, people still talk about it because it never felt ordinary. From the very beginning, it felt like a statement. And still, as unforgettable as the D21 was, the next tractor on this countdown may matter even more, because it combined true historical importance with the kind of practical toughness farmers could depend on every single day. Number 6. The Allis Chalmers D19. The Allis Chalmers D19 is one of those tractors that seems to earn more respect every time people look back on it. This was a tractor built at a turning point. It carried the old values farmers trusted: strength, durability, and usefulness. At the same time, it showed that Allis Chalmers was ready to move forward and build something more ambitious. For many farm families, the D19 filled an important role. It was strong enough for serious work, but it still felt connected to the tractors that came before it. That mattered. It did not feel too different, too complicated, or too far removed from what farmers already knew. A father could trust it, a son could learn on it, and a family could keep it around without feeling like they had taken a gamble on something unproven. Older farmers do not hand out trust easily. A machine has to earn it. And over time, the D19 did exactly that. Part of what made the D19 stand out was the way it brought new ideas to the farm without losing its backbone. It offered more capability, but it still felt like a tractor built for real work, not just for show. That balance is rare. A machine can be advanced, but if it does not feel tough, farmers will never truly love it. The D19 had both history and grit, and that is why it still holds its place in the memory of so many people. But if you want to talk about an Allis Chalmers tractor that blended power, attitude, and lasting legend even more completely, the next one may be the hardest to beat. Number 5. The Allis Chalmers 190 XT. The 190 XT is one of those tractor names that still makes people look twice. For many Allis Chalmers fans, this is where the brand's toughness and confidence truly came together. It was not just a tractor people used for a few years and then forgot. It was a tractor that stayed in memory, and that matters. The 190 XT had real presence. It looked like a machine built for serious work, and on many farms, that is exactly what it became. For many families, the 190 XT felt like a big step forward. It was the kind of tractor that told the whole farm something had changed. The farm was growing, the workload was growing, and the equipment had to grow right along with it. This was a machine that could take on heavy jobs with confidence, and it made a farmer feel like he had moved into a whole new class of power. When a tractor changes the way a family works, not just what they drive, it leaves a lasting mark. Its reputation for durability came from more than raw horsepower. It came from the kind of life these tractors lived. They were not spared. They were worked hard, season after season, on jobs that demanded real strength and real staying power. And instead of fading from memory, that hard use only added to the legend. Farmers have always respected machines that can take pressure and still hold their ground. But even as strong and memorable as the 190 XT was, the next tractor on this list reaches even deeper into American farm memory, back to a time when Allis Chalmers was becoming part of everyday farm life. Number 4. The Allis Chalmers WC. The Allis Chalmers WC belongs to an older America, and that is exactly why it still means so much. Long before tractors came with comfort features and modern electronics, the WC was already changing the daily rhythm of farm life. For many older Americans, this machine means more than a brand name painted on orange sheet metal. It stands for a generation that learned to do more with less, worked through hard seasons, and kept going because that was simply what farm life demanded. On many family farms, the WC became a real turning point. It helped families move away from older, slower ways of working. It gave them a better chance to cover more ground, save precious time, and rely less on pure backbreaking labor. That kind of change stays with people. A tractor like the WC was not just another machine sitting in the yard. It was a step forward in how a family worked, lived, and held the farm together. The reason the WC still matters is simple. It was built for usefulness. It came from a time when there was no room for waste, no extra money to throw around, and no patience for a machine that could not earn its keep. A tractor had to work. It had to last. It had to justify every dollar spent on it. Because of that, the WC became one of those tractors people held onto, repaired, talked about, and remembered long after newer models came along. But as meaningful as the WC was, the next tractor carried that same dependable spirit in a form many farmers remember even more personally. A machine that felt handier, closer, and even more woven into everyday farm life. Number 3. The Allis Chalmers WD. The Allis Chalmers WD is one of those tractors that feels like it belongs in the family album. For many farmers, it was never some distant legend. It was right there in the yard, sitting in the shed, or parked by the barn at the end of a long day. It felt familiar in a way that made it easy to trust and hard to forget. When people talk about tractors that truly lived alongside a farm family, the WD deserves a place near the top. Its role on the farm was broad, simple, and deeply practical. This was the kind of tractor that could handle one job, then the next, then one more before supper, without ever making a fuss. It could move from field work to everyday chore work in a way that made it feel essential, not specialized. And that is why older farmers still speak about it with real warmth. It was not built to impress from a distance. It was built to be useful every single day. The WD earned its reputation for durability because it came from a time when tractors were built around real need. These machines had to start, pull, lift, and keep going through dust, heat, mud, and long seasons of hard use. Farmers grew attached to them because they were dependable, easy to understand, and worth repairing. When a machine is worth fixing instead of replacing, it has earned more than respect. It has earned loyalty. And as loved as the WD still is, the next model took everything farmers appreciated about it and gave them even more strength. That helped create one of the most admired Allis Chalmers tractors ever built. Number 2. The Allis Chalmers D17. The Allis Chalmers D17 holds a very special place in the brand's history because it felt like the complete package. For many farm families, it had the right kind of power to matter, the right kind of simplicity for everyday use, and the familiar feel that made it part of the routine almost right away. It did not need a big sales pitch. Once a farmer spent real time with a D17, he usually understood why it earned so much respect and why so many people kept them for years. This was the kind of tractor that often became the backbone of the whole operation. It handled the daily grind that defines real farm life. Not glamorous work, just necessary work. Feeding livestock, hauling wagons, mowing fields, moving equipment, and stepping into whatever job the day happened to bring. That is what made the D17 more than just useful. It made it trusted. And on a working farm, trust means everything. A big part of the D17's durability came from balance. It had enough strength to feel serious, but it also kept that manageable, farmer-friendly character that made people comfortable with it. And once a farmer gets comfortable with a tractor, he tends to keep it around, year after year, season after season. The D17 stayed in service because it fit the rhythm of real farm work so well. It was not just impressive when it was new. It stayed useful for the long haul. But as loved and respected as the D17 was, it still could not take the top spot. Because number one is the Allis Chalmers tractor many farmers would call the purest workhorse of them all. Number 1. The Allis Chalmers WD-45. If there is one Allis Chalmers tractor that truly deserves this title, it is the WD-45. This is the machine that lives at the center of so many farm memories. For a lot of older Americans, the WD-45 was not just a tractor they remember. It was the tractor. It was there before breakfast, when the chores had to get done. It was there when the weather gave you a short window in the field. And it was there for all the unexpected jobs that kept a family farm moving. What made the WD-45 so important was the place it held in everyday farm life. It was strong enough for serious work, but practical enough to become a daily partner. It was not too big to feel distant, and it was not too small to feel limited. That gave it a rare kind of value. It fit the farm, it fit the family, and it fit the rhythm of real work. Day after day, season after season, year after year, it kept earning its place. Its reputation for durability did not come from advertising. It came from proof. Farmers worked these tractors hard. They pulled loads, handled rough ground, pushed through bad weather, and kept going through the kind of chores that wear a machine down over time. And still, the WD-45 lasted. Many stayed on farms because they were built with enough strength to be worth fixing and trusted enough to never be forgotten. And that is why the WD-45 stands at number 1. Not because it was flashy, not because it was rare, but because it represented the kind of toughness farm families believed in. Plain, proven, and remembered with real respect. Looking back at these old Allis Chalmers tractors, what stands out most is not just the iron. It is the life that came with it. The cold mornings, the muddy lanes, the feed wagons, and the long days when the work still had to get done, no matter how tired a man felt. These tractors stayed in people's memories because they stayed in service. On many farms, they became part of the family story. Now I would love to hear from you. Which Allis Chalmers model earned your respect the hard way? And which one would you put at number 1? Share your memories in the comments. And let's keep these farm stories alive.